Hey guys, today I want to talk about vibe coding because today I make my first app by vibe coding, and I think it will be interesting to talk about this because I had some experience as a product manager and CEO of a tech startup. So, but I cannot code, so I don't know how to code. We have some developers, but today I decided to make my own like a coding, and I was using Cursor, and I think it's not just like a vibe coding, it's more about real coding. Because a few months ago I had experience with Lovable, and I think the Lovable it's 100% like a vibe coding because you're like make a text prompt and it start to create you a code, and not even code, it start to create you like an app. You no need even to watch in the code. But in my experience with the Cursor and ChatGPT, I was literally like I create a code, copy paste. I run my server infrastructure. I was using superbase.com and render.com for all this stuff. Actually, I didn't know what actually these products are doing. In general, I understand, but to describe this, I don't know how to describe this because I never code, and I create my first GitHub repository. So and that was really interesting. So the first message that I want to tell is that it's about education. So I didn't watch any video tutorial in YouTube. I didn't go for any website. I didn't go for any knowledge base of this vendor. All this I have done with ChatGPT and Cursor. So it means that it's completely changed about how we are learning and how we're doing, and the your tutorials, guys, and database of your information about your products will be on your website, but it will be like a database for ChatGPT because consumer will be like doing onboarding, not in your app. They will do onboarding in ChatGPT. So and that's why I think it's completely changed how we are learning because we now need like oh, we will need more video tutorials about all this stuff. Maybe it will be also generating. So, but in general, because I would say five years ago when I was need something to learn about marketing, all this stuff, I just went to the YouTube and watched the video tutorials. So now with the coding, I never code any line of code, and it was good. Actually, I forget to tell about what I did. So it was like a simple page where you can upload the image, and you send this image with a specific prompt to the Google and get a response when the Google generate image in AI. So it's pretty simple, but okay, you have an input, output, you have a database where you need to store all this stuff. And actually, when I edit a registration page, login and sign up, I get a bug, and I really didn't know how to resolve this. And I said, okay, I will do this tomorrow. But yeah, I understand the joke about not technical founders and web coders, so it's just like a monkey with a weapon. Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, but maybe some coders will tell you, oh, this is vibe coding, blah blah blah. And they all professionals, they actually all professional people in any spaces, they don't like things that really simplify their job and make a low quality of the job, because when you simplify, in most cases it's just like a little bit low quality, but people accept this quality and they like, I don't like this. But for me, I never coding, and now and that's why I couldn't create any products, and I need to hire developers. So now I can do something. Of course I need developers, but okay, I can do myself. So that's an interesting thing. So the first message is about how we are, it's about how we are learning. So the second point is that about the interfaces, and you know, it's I see that the tool was created by people who can code, and they create the same environment, but help you to do it automatically. But I think in future, it will be like a completely different interfaces for people, for new audience that cannot do this before. For example, when I was using Cursor and Terminal, I just didn't understand how to like run server, stop server, like a Control C or MD, blah blah blah. So you like a restart server infrastructure. I understand that for any professional developer, it's like a ABC. It's like super easy. But for me, it's new. And I thought, okay, why I just don't have a button like to reload? I don't understand. So that's for me. I don't understand why. I'm thinking that okay, they have like a command line, and they like so that's. But for me, it's really hard. So and that's why if you will build some. This kind of process before, but with your product they now can do this. That's it. And if you will like create this stuff, it will be super cool things. For example, when I was doing 3D graphic, I was using like a 3D Max when I was in my use when I was in university, and there are a lot of like buttons with these 3D things. Oh my god, blah blah blah. But now the interface of creating AI video is just completely different. You just say, okay, create an animation of this stuff, and it's bam. So, and the result, okay, like is the same, but the interface is completely different. So that's what I think. The third thing is that about the network effects, I think. With this vibe coding era, it will be a lot of people who create this kind of shit, and the quality will be very low, and for good products it will be harder and harder to get a customer, because every people will say, oh, my app is so fucking good, but my AI app is so fucking good, and it will be very hard, and you can be copied very quickly. But if you have some network effects, and for example, you can create copy of the Instagram, and for actually the last news about this bot that create like a social network for agents, blah blah blah. So in general, they like replicate Reddit, they create a lot of content of all this stuff. So, but one thing they cannot create copy is the real people who actually use this website. You can create, imagine in next 100 years, for the one button you can create, let's say, okay, replicate me Instagram with all content, and Magic AI will 1 month rendering, and boom, you have like Instagram with tens of billions of pieces of content. But what you cannot do is to copy people who use this product. So, and I think that the real products will be like data hubs, maybe like not data, like a people hub, some network, some network of people, of professionals who are working on the project or do something with the AI. So in your platform, people have to communicate and do something. It have to be multiplayer. So, and if people don't use your product, it will be like a problem. But for the another things, we have a trend like a screenless apps, when you like run agent and agent do another stuff. So actually, this is like a huge question for like a $10 trillion question about how to create apps and all this stuff. So it's just my thoughts about vibe coding. See you in the next videos.